What's up, O fans? It's Sam here with Olight Canada. Now, Olight is dropping another brand new EDC model as part of the what are you doing here? What's up, O fans? It's Sam here. Special guest Fiona the kitten. Now, today's episode is all about Olight's newest EDC model. Yesterday we talked about the Arcfeld Pro. Today we're going to talk about the Warrior Nano. Now, what happens if the Warrior Mini is a little too big for your pocket? What if the Baton 3 is a little too small? Well, let me introduce the Goldilocks of the Olight EDC lineup, the Warrior Nano. This one is just right. Now, when the Warrior Mini 3 first hit the market, people were very impressed with the third generation tail cap and the overall output and the overall size. But if you're going to shrink this light even smaller, there are a few things to consider. You want to make sure that the light is small enough to fit comfortably in your pocket, but also still large enough so that the tail cap can be used as intended, using the thumb and an overhand grip like this. If you make it too small, that overhand grip thumb activation just doesn't make sense anymore. So I think the size is just right when it comes to a tactical tail cap style of flashlight. The other thing to consider is the battery. Now, the battery on this one is an 18650. It's got 3,500 milliamps. Great capacity. If you shrink that down too far, you've got a tiny 550 milliamp hour battery. And that's not always enough to get the job done. This one, on the other hand, uses the same battery as the Seeker 4 Mini, that 1100 milliamp hour battery, double the capacity that you get in this little guy, without being that much bigger overall. Doubling the capacity of the battery allows for greater runtime and greater output, so they definitely made the right choice going with the 18350 battery. I also really like what they've done with the pocket clip. This bi-directional pocket clip that O fans are so familiar with. You can put it tip up in your pocket, or because the light is so small, you can point it tip down using this secondary clip and it will still disappear in your pocket. That solves the problem that a lot of people have when they prefer to carry tip down. This thing will do it quite nicely right out of the box. Now, just like its bigger brother, the Warrior Nano has an active thermal management system which prevents the light from overheating more than 50 degrees Celsius. Now, this is the smallest light in the Olight lineup with that advanced safety feature. Now, the Warrior Mini 3 did have a proximity sensor. If you activated the light in turbo while the beam was obstructed, it would dim itself down to prevent this light from burning a hole in your pocket. The Warrior Nano, on the other hand, does not have a proximity sensor for the very simple reason that if you're using the light as intended, if your hand obstructs the beam at all, it could dim the output when you don't need it to. So Olight didn't want people to deal with that. They got rid of the proximity sensor and have replaced it with half turbo. Now, half turbo is a configurable setting where you can adjust the output of a full press of the tail cap between that 600 lumen half turbo setting, which is selected by default out of the box, and a 1200 lumen full turbo setting. Half turbo won't burn a hole in your pocket before the active thermal management kicks in. Full turbo will absolutely burn a hole in your pocket very quickly if you're not careful. Now, to configure your tail cap between the default half turbo and access full turbo if you decide to, you take your magnetic charger, you slap the light on there, and you lock the light out while it's on the charger. Then you can remove the charger, unlock the light. Now I'm in full turbo. Immediate access to that 1200 lumen setting. If you want to go back to the default setting, again, you just slap it on there, lock out the light, take it off the charger, unlock the light, and now the light is in that half turbo pocket safe mode. Now, half turbo is something that you consider 50% a safety feature and 50% an economy feature. It'll run at 600 lumens for about 10 minutes before there's any drop down. It'll run for a lower output for about an hour. Full turbo, that's 1200 lumens. It'll run for about 3 minutes before you have some drop down. It'll run for a lower output for about an hour. A double tap on the side switch will always get you into that full 1200 lumen turbo setting. So you always have that 1200 lumen max brightness available to you using the side switch. But the only way to get 600 lumens of output is using the tail cap while it's configured in that mode. So instead of the 5 modes that you're used to having, you can select to have 6 different output modes on the Warrior Nano. And that's pretty cool all on its own. Another feature that the Nano retains from the Warrior Mini 3 is tactical mode. This is yet another way that you can configure your tail cap to do exactly as you want it to. So a full press down on the tail cap and a press on the side switch, the light will begin to strobe. Now a half press on the tail cap is momentary medium, and a full press on the tail cap is momentary strobe. And it's just that easy to switch between the two. And of course, it wouldn't be a brand new Olight model if they didn't release it in a spectacular color. It's available in black, but also in zombie green during the October flash sale on olightstore.ca. Be sure to click this link to shop the sale. There are 2 zombie finish lights, both of which are brand new models this October, which I think is absolutely genius. I think you guys are going to love it. These 2 together, matching set, both in zombie finish. I can't wait to get those in my cart. Sale starts right away.